Hello and welcome to How to Hack Your Celebrity Status with Facebook Ads from JanRagnerud.com, and this is me, Jan Ragnerud. And in today's presentation, you can see this on video, you can see it on my podcast, you can see it, that would be iTunes, and you can see it on my blog. We're going to talk about this very, very exciting topic, and this is a question I don't get too often, but I know a lot of the folks out there are thinking it, so this is for you. How can I get my message seen by millions? I want my message to be out there. Now, I'm not going to get into why this is not necessarily the smartest question on the planet, and I hate to sort of belittle you here because I'm supposed to inspire you, but the truth is, it depends, right? Because if you have a product that sells for $10,000 a pop, yeah, you might want to be seen by millions, but really you want to focus down on your niche. If you follow this podcast and go to my blog, you'll see why it's much better to niche down and think about your audience rather than just a broad sort of millions approach. But it's exciting to ask this question, I know. So I'm going to stick with this for this presentation. And really, it's exciting because, frankly, you have to start somewhere, and it starts with the $1-a-day strategy on Facebook. And here, total kudos to Mr. Dennis Yu and the Facebook experts team at blitzmetrics.com. In fact, if you go to blitzmetrics.com, you can download guides, you can download resources and videos and lots more where they teach you this in much more detail. So today, it's my take on the $1-a-day strategy. And actually, I've started to implement this, and it's already working. It's early stage, but I want to share this with you because it's very exciting. So this works for brands and businesses at large, small and large, but really today I'm sort of focusing on you, the individual, as an author, a speaker, a consultant, a coach, an online marketing expert, perhaps an advisor. And yes, you are the brand, and we want you to be seen out there, and let's again go by the millions, right? And I would just say here, you are destined for success. That's sort of the positive thing if you get your message out and if you do it in the right way, and as I said, in front of the right people. Kind of trying to niche you down and thinking about who that audience is, though, because it's always good to think about that. But really, you're trying to just get your message out there. You want millions of people to see it. And it's a positive thing, right? We're not talking about, cops on TV or, anything that creates a negative viral thing for you. We want this to be positive, and we want this to work for you, and that you get, celebrity status by doing it this way. So, if you're building your brand and you want to widen your reach, this Facebook $1 strategy is for you. And interestingly enough, you may be thinking, that's impossible because I've already tried this. Facebook actually now, when you generate ads, wants to charge us $5 a day. So where do you get this from? Well, we're going to get back to that, but the $1 a day is what we're using, and so we're going to talk about it right now. But, as always, you need to do some homework first. This doesn't just happen out of the blue, and I know you're ready for that, so I'm excited to share it with you, and here it is. Da-da! Content! And content really in any form, right? Here we are talking about, posts from a textual kind of capacity to videos, live streaming, podcasting. This could be just pure MP3 audios that are placed out there. Podcasts like the one you're listening to, if that's where you are right now, is a perfect example of this. There are so many ways, digitally I'm speaking now, that you can create content. And you can visit my blog and learn about more ways to do this, but really you need to have content. So you're asking, about where can I put this content. This is, I was speaking at a conference here just recently, and I got a lot of questions of what to write, but also where do I put it, right? Often you say, yeah, I want to put it on my blog, but if you're brand new and you're just starting out, this is, of course, what you must do, but if you're going to use the $1-a-day strategy, you want to create some authority, some trust. In fact, social proof here, I put up reviews. Really, your reputation, your authority needs to be positioned. And there's many ways to do this. If you're brand new, there's ways to do this by simply reaching out to your local community, your friends, your family even, and get some of those comments up there. Leverage that as your authority boosters to get people to say good things about you. If you're standing up there and saying, I'm awesome, people can appreciate appreciate that candor and the directness. But if other people say you're awesome, much, much better. So you want to think about this. How can I build myself up to look and feel and act a little bit more of as a trusted authority? Well, there's ways to do that. Not covering that in detail, but we are talking about Facebook. So what you must have is a professional looking Facebook page, and not a profile page. People get confused here. An actual official Facebook page, and as I said, professionally created. And you can look on at this online. There's many examples, of course, but certainly you can go ahead and Google. But what I'm talking about here is a page that has a nice header graphic. It has a nice, friendly, professional, clear photo of you. It has links to your websites or other assets. There might be multiple of those, right? It has a phone number, it has an address perhaps, and that you have several posts, so you're not going to, what do you call it, a funeral or a cemetery where there's really nothing going on. It doesn't send signals of trust and authority. So create some posts here, have a little bit of a history here, and by the way, you can do this fairly quickly, right? But you want to sort of build this up so people get a good sense for you. Get some likes built and make it active. Active is in general just not making it feel like it's dead in there. And when I say build likes, don't get 10 likes and make that look authoritative. Yes, I know there's a starting point for everything, but build a few thousand. There's ways to build Facebook ad campaigns to build likes. There's other ways to do this, and of course, you don't have to wait, by the way, to do this. You just start with this process. So don't sort of think, oh, this is a great strategy. The dollar straight is awesome, but now I'm going to have to wait until I have 1,000 likes. That doesn't sound right. Well, it's preferable, but you don't need to. What I'm saying is, don't stop. Keep going. Stay active. Stay motivated. Stay positive. Stay results driven. And what you want to do now, as we sort of start digging down, is creating a learning type post. People, how-to information is incredibly powerful, not only for the receiving end, but as you start to write it, you really are building yourself to be a authority, a trusted authority. So I want you to think of, what is it that I could teach my audience? What is it that I could teach the community at large that's really spectacular? And then place a link to an authority website. And that can be your own at first if you don't have it, but I urge you to reach out and think about, how can I get an article or a reference or a synopsis snippet on an authority website in my space? And if you go broader, perhaps it might be Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, Forbes, etc. But really, it doesn't have to be that. And again, here's the thing. Well, I don't have that, I can't get that. Yes, you can. You can't stop here. I'm just inspiring you to take action on this. And if you want to get started on this, but you can't get that level of authority website yet, well, then start with your own. And that's why I put that. And make it great. Not good, but great. We want to make sure that that content is really illuminating and really takes you and your business and your person to the next level. So that's very important. Now we're going to drill into Facebook a little bit more. So you place that onto your Facebook page, and that becomes a post with an image and a nice link to your article or to your video or to your podcast or one of those assets that you have out there. And then you boost it with a saved audience. And there's 3 types of audiences in Facebook. You have custom audiences, a lookalike audience, and a saved audience. Saved audience is the key for you here as we start to build this out, and you'll learn what this is in just a few minutes. So $10 a day, probably a good starting point, right? There's no sort of finite thing here. We just want to build this a little bit. $10 is not too much for any person. You can do this $1 a day. See how that breaks down? But it's within the posts category, not the traditional ads platform, which, as I said before, Facebook starts at $5 a day now. So as you do this, you continue to add references to the saved audience specification, and you make it media specific, and you point to where your audience lives. And as you go forward, you can go broader. And in a second here, you'll see what this means and how this applies to you. And in fact, we're going to dive right in. So if you go to your Facebook Ads Manager, select Audiences, then you're going to have some options to create audiences. And you have, as I said, custom lookalike, and then 3, saved audience. You want to hit that. Once you do, drill down, and here's the magic. This is the secret sauce here. Although there are many moving parts here, this is one that you must get right and that you must continue to build. Demographics selection, work selection, and employers. What you're doing is you are targeting key staff and key employees at companies that you choose, and those companies are media companies, and you want to select those and hit save. Then you go back to your original post, that post that you had said you had created, right? With your learning and your how-to information, very authoritative, very great. And you basically boost using that saved audience. So save it as whatever you named it and select it here and boost it. Now, what's going to happen is you'll start to see a reach. The count for reach starts increasing. You're going to see likes grow, and interestingly enough, if you start looking at those likes, you'll find that it's employees from media companies, from lower end on the spectrum all the way up to executives and key stakeholders. And you can expect to continue to test this. This is not a one and done, of course, nothing really ever is, but you want to continue to build your data set here. You may start small and then continue to build longer term. And by the way, when you do this, you don't want to, sort of day one put in 3 or 4 media references, and day 2 you put in 10 and then nothing. Try and stay consistent here. And really, what I'm trying to say here, that's why I'm stumbling, you got to test this stuff. So there is no hidden secret here to this sort of online marketing space other than actually applying sound strategies and testing those. See, I just gave you a huge secret, which means what? Work. You got to work it. So if this has really helped you, I really urge you to share. I really love this business, and I've been recently talking about Facebook. We're going to change gears here for the next few presentations, but this is Jan Rognerud, and you find me at JONROGNERUD, janrognerud.com. That's my blog, and lots of information, downloads, resources, things that hopefully will help you. And here's the ultimate sort of secret to all of this when you're hacking your celebrity status. Be authoritative, have high integrity, be real, be consistent, and most of all, just be helpful. How's that for simplicity, right? When you are, and when you get placed out on authority sites and you start reaching out to those, you can really, really make a difference. And so back to that initial question of how can I get my message out to millions and be appreciated for it and get the love you need, and of course eventually build your revenue. That's kind of the goal along the way. Then the Facebook $1-a-day strategy is one fantastic way to start testing. And kudos again to Blitzmetrics, Dennis Yu and the team. They're awesome. Check them out. And other than that, have a great day, evening, or night. Jan out, and thank you again.